Let's get on to our AFC North previews and predictions. Let's talk about the Bengals first. Joel, you famously said that the Bengals were flukes, and that's the question of this topic in the preview.
So ironic.
Will the Bengals?
I can't wait.
Will the Bengals prove that last season wasn't a fluke? I'll start with you.
I don't think I said they were fluke.
You're lying.
You're
lying,
they said,
brother.
I said
brother,
they got
brother.
lucky.
Listen, I look out for you on the show. I
said
sorry.
they got lucky. Did I say they were a fluke?
Not only did you say that it was fluky, you also
said they got lucky.
You also said there's a chance they don't even make the playoffs.
There's a world where that happens.
All right, which is why I am very excited to hear your prediction.
There's a world where that happens. I don't remember saying fluky. I remember saying lucky.
Which goes hand in hand.
But there's a difference.
There's a
difference.
You look in the dictionary, they definitely have two different meanings.
There's a difference.
However, we're intelligent human beings.
We are.
We understand that they coincide.
They're synonyms.
Correct.
Sure. But we have this discussion like if a girl is pretty versus a girl hot. There's a difference if a girl is pretty and she's hot.
Hey, fair.
You know what I'm saying?
Fair.
There's a difference between being fluky and lucky. Don't ask me what the difference is, but I know I said lucky and not fluky because teams. I think this is what the difference is. Lucky gets you to the Super Bowl, right? Lucky gets you. They played the Raiders the first round, of average team, maybe a little bit above average.
Brother, I'm sorry.
The Titans in round 2, probably the worst 1 seed we've seen in a while, and then the Chiefs. All the credit to the Bengals. They were phenomenal. First half, they were terrible, and then they just flip-flop where the Bengals were great. The second half, the Chiefs looked abysmal, like they never played football before. And to their credit, they played a good game in the Super Bowl, too. I think the lucky is you get to the Super Bowl, the fluky is like, I don't even think they're going to win a playoff game ever again or whatever.
The lucky is a difference between you being semi-confident in what you're saying and fluky is being you being ultra-confident in what you're saying about the Bengals.
Maybe, but I always said lucky. I never said fluky.
Because when the Hawks went on the playoff, and I said it was a fluke, outright.
Sure.
I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't give a damn.
Yeah, good for you. That was a good take. Good take. Listen, I think the Bengals will be a wild card team competing for a wild card spot. I have them this season going 11-6. They play some difficult opponents. I wouldn't say difficult, actually. It's really the Steelers who have the most difficult schedule, I think, out of all of these guys. Because really the only out-of-division ones, I mean, Kansas City, at Tampa Bay, Buffalo, like those are big standouts, right? And I think one of the hardest things while doing this, we'll talk about it later, predicting this, all these teams is what happens with Deshaun Watson, because that changes the outlook for basically this entire division. But the Bengals, I don't want to get ahead of myself. I think they'll be a wild card team, so I don't think they're going to come first in this division. They upgraded the offensive line. You have another year of Joe Burrow, who, like you've mentioned in the past, it took to that second half of the year once he was fully recovered from the ACL surgery to really show out. Joe Burrow, he's a top 10 quarterback in the league. They have the weapons with the wide receivers and all those guys. They're not going to be a scrub. They're not going to have a top 15 pick by any means. They'll be a borderline playoff team. They'll probably be, that 6-7 seed. Maybe they get to the 5 seed. We have 4 teams in the AFC West who we all think can make the playoffs. We have 2 teams, maybe 3, depending on how you think of the Jets in the AFC East. Whatever. We have 2 teams he was giving me a look. We have 2 teams in the AFC East at the very least that we think would be borderline playoff teams. So there's a lot of competition to go into the AFC in general. So they're not a fluke. They're going to be a borderline playoff team. They're going to be competitive. They're going to win games. I have them at 11-6, finishing second in the division.
All right. You said a lot of things that I agree with in referring to their upcoming season. The whole fluky thing. You lose me there, respectfully.
I said lucky, not fluky.
I apologize. 100%. Lucky. Even still, I'm sorry, brother. Reaching foul. Joel Dehls.
Why?
Come on, man. The way you were explaining it, the only thing I can think of how lucky is just... you said it best. Lucky is you being semi-confident.
But no, you guys put fluky into my mouth. I never said that.
That's what I'm saying, which is what I'm saying. What he's saying is facts. You saying lucky is that it could be true. It could be... The fluky is like, no way, it's not happening.
Well, I'm not going to say there's no way they don't have it.
I don't know. You said that they wouldn't make the playoffs. That was.
I'm just glad you're giving Joe Burrow respect.
I've always given Joe Burrow respect.
Drew, you want to give your prediction?
For sure.
You're such an internet head, bro. You can't be a lower on a guy without thinking he's terrible.
Now that's pretty true because we have him still locked in top 10.
Not even that. It's just the guy you have over him, or some guys you have over him. I vehemently disagree with.
You had him. You had this one guy over him forever until he went to the Super Bowl.
No, I'm talking about Deshaun Watson. I'm not talking about Herbert.
I'm sorry, bro.
Why is that a conversation? 7-on-7 clip from a June playoff.
No, I'm just saying. There's no way if you're taking stats and winning into consideration, Watson is over Burrow. This doesn't happen. And on top of that, Burrow's a leader.
Yes.
And Deshaun
Deshaun's not
off the field. It's unfortunate what's going
a
on.
leader.
For
Doesn't
sure.
do that.
I agree.
Not wrong at all.
Alleged.
Correct. Listen, let the law handle it. Let it go that way. We're gonna say this for the Bengals. They made a lot of improvements, and the improvements that mattered the most was fixing that offensive line that was among the worst. I believe it was the second worst offensive line behind Miami, in front of Miami, I guess I should say. And they went. They brought in Ted Karras. They went in. They brought in Alex Kappa. They went in. They brought in Lyle Collins. Pair that with Jonah Williams. It's a solid offensive line now. They're actually should go out there and be confident that these guys up front can protect Joe Burrow, give him some time to see Jamar Chase downfield, which could have been the difference between them winning the Super Bowl and them losing the Super Bowl. T. Higgins down the field. Tyler Boyd could get a little bit more action now. Joe Mixon out of the passing in the passing areas of the field. I have them also going 11-6, but it's going to get interesting when we hear my other rankings because I'm going to need help with we'll get there when we get there. But
real quick before we move on, if you could pull up your AFC West predictions, and their records, because I'm curious as to see. I would like to do this exercise just to see how this landscape ends up.
Okay, so I have the Broncos 13-4. I have the Chargers 12-5. I have the Raiders 11-6. I have the Chiefs 9-8.
Okay, so those are one for sure over them in the wild card. One tiebreaker. We'll see what happens.
No, it's too clean. Broncos,
they win
Chargers.
the
Correct. No, Broncos and Chargers. They're going to have a better record than I have the Bengals.
I know, but I'm saying what wild card teams are going to be in contention with.
I understand what you're saying, and then Raiders also is a conversation.
Because I had the Chargers, Broncos both at 12-5, so that's one. KC at 11-6, and Las Vegas right there at 10-7.
No, it's definitely going to be a fight. But they could win the division. But they could win the division.
The Bengals, yeah.
Yes. So I have them going 11-6. Look, you messed me up. Now I can't find my rankings. So I have them losing to Baltimore at Baltimore. I have them losing to New Orleans in New Orleans. I have them losing to Cleveland in Cleveland.
Week 8?
Correct. It's a division game. Baker is playing in Cleveland. So maybe. Who knows? I don't know. I have them losing to Pittsburgh at Pittsburgh. I have them losing to Kansas City. I have them losing to Tampa Bay at Tampa Bay. And those are my only L's. So I have them going 11-6.
Now, the Cincinnati Bengals, not only are they not flukes, they didn't get lucky. Maybe some things went their way.
Which is luck.
That happens to every single team.
And that's why I didn't think my take was crazy. That's why I didn't think my take was crazy.
Every single team.
If you make the Super Bowl, you got lucky.
But the Bengals are for
not
real.
Necessarily true.
It is.
Were the Rams lucky?
They have things go their way. They stayed incredibly healthy.
Matthew Stafford threw a pick to Jaquiski Tartt and he dropped it.
That's not lucky. That's on him. That's
so
on Tartt
that's something
for being mid.
That's something going your way though.
Tom Brady scored 3 points in 1/2. Doesn't do that very
fair.
often.
That's fair.
So because
I'm apologizing. So keep going on. Just go on.
Oh, okay. Because your logic for the Bengals being lucky is that Ryan Tannehill throwing an interception.
I was saying like they just didn't play that many great teams until the Chiefs.
Okay. Now,
they almost lost to the Raiders.
Not only are the Bengals going to be back next year,
game against the Titans.
I'm not sure if they're going to be back in the Super Bowl, but they're going to be an elite team. They're going to win the division for sure, without a doubt.
Oof.
And it's because they got Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow is a top 5 quarterback in football. Joe Burrow is the best quarterback in the AFC North over Lamar Jackson, over Deshaun Watson if he even plays, and over anybody in Pittsburgh. Now, 3 of the last 5 Super Bowl losers have gone and they've had an under on their over-under projected win totals. The Chiefs, 49ers, and Rams. But the Bengals are the first team to have this low of win projection total since the 2016 Falcons when they had 9.5.
Damn.
And that Falcons team hit the over.
Sorry, what was the Bengals number?
It's 9.5.
Wow.
Yeah. So the Bengals are hitting their over for sure.
They are.
And people that didn't watch what the Bengals were brewing are often surprised about not only the emergence of the team, but the emergence of Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow is a quarterback that, as a rookie, went 2-7, 2-7-1. Doesn't sound great. 4 of those losses by 1 score. He also tied as a rookie as well.
Sounds like Herbert.
Joe Burrow was lifting up a piss-poor Bengals team before he got injured against Washington. He comes into this next season. He comes back earlier than expected. He's not even himself until the midway point of the season, a little bit after, and has a season for the ages. I mean, Joe Burrow last year, only quarterback behind Tom Brady to not be in play action plays. He had 507 attempts, which means that he's not somebody who's in play action a lot, which is, for young quarterbacks, the two easiest things for young quarterbacks in offenses, play action and pre-snap motion. Joe Burrow, second in touchdowns on plays without pre-snap motion, 112.3 passer rating. Joe Burrow is one of those guys that your entire offensive staff can take the training wheels off because he can handle anything coming his way. No play action, no pre-snap motion, doesn't matter. I know where I'm going with the ball. And now he has time. Like, this was the 31st ranked offensive line in football last year. You're bringing Alex Kappa. You bring in Ted Karras. You're bringing La'el Collins. Jonah Williams is getting better. C.J. Uzomah is a huge loss because of his leadership. But Hayden Hurst, as a starter in 2020, put up 500 yards
Really
receiving.
good addition.
He can replace C.J. Uzomah's impact, in my opinion. That's not even a question. The Bengals are winning this division. I think they're going 11-6. They could even be better, though. You know, some of these games that are toss-ups, they could win. I have them winning the first 4 games. So I think they're going 4-0 against Pittsburgh, Dallas, the Jets, and Miami.
Correct.
They lose their first one at Baltimore.
Correct.
Joe Burrow back in Louisiana versus Saints. Oh, they're winning that one.
That's a tough game for me. That's the one that it can make or break the division, truthfully, but it's tough to go into that environment.
They're 5-1. I have them beating Atlanta 6-1, losing to Cleveland at Cleveland 6-2. Carolina beating them 7-2. I have them sweeping Pittsburgh, but for this sake, winning this game 8-2. Tennessee 9-2. I think they lose to KC 9-3. They beat Cleveland 10-3. They lose to Tampa Bay 10-4. They beat New England 11-4. They lose to Buffalo 11-5, and they beat Baltimore week 18. So I think they can go 11-6 or 12-5. It's either or.
I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that record.
I think the only team they sweep in the division is Pittsburgh.
I agree.
In my opinion.
I think they sweep Pittsburgh too.
I'm gonna give Pittsburgh that respect. Give Mike Tomlin his respect as well that he could get one.
I think the Cleveland games get flipped. I think they win week 8, even though it's in Cleveland. I don't think Deshaun plays, and I think they beat them week 14.
Well, at Cincy, I don't know about that. At Cincy,
Deshaun, baby.
Deshaun's not.
If he plays,
we gotta look. I like Deshaun a lot. I think he's a really great quarterback. But I heard something from Chris Sims today that made a lot of sense. We shouldn't expect Deshaun to all of a sudden be great as soon as he comes back.
All of a sudden, he is great.
I mean, to be back and play at the level he was playing at before he
I have no
stopped
concern.
playing.
I have none.
It's been a year.
Michael Vick did not play for over 3 years.
He wasn't the same, though.
He was
in
number
Philly. He was
2
amazing.
MVP candidate.
In Philly, he was amazing.
He lost to Tom Brady. That was it.
I don't know.
He didn't play right away.
I'm being serious.
He didn't play right away because of McNabb.
Correct.
But eventually, when he came in, he was insane.
I'm just saying it's more than it's like he missed a season of an injury, except he wasn't hurt. He was actually having time to practice and still throw and still work out. I understand.
Philly also had the weapons to help out Vic, though. There's no Deshaun Jackson on this team.
Amari Cooper
and the best running back tandem in the league.
But he's not Deshaun
line.
Jackson, though. Amari Cooper's not that Deshaun Jackson.
No, not that. No,
they have
and Jeremy Maclin either. There's no.
We
Jeremy
agree.
Maclin.
They have the best running back duo in the league, backfield, whatever. Great offensive line. Amari Cooper is
but he also didn't have that in Houston once DeAndre left. It was Will Fuller, Brandon Cooks.
Brandon Cooks and Amari is a debate.
No, it's not.
Brandon Cooks is more consistent.
In the long run, like comparing careers, I understand what you're saying. But right now, at this point in time, personally,
I think you can count on Brandon Cooks to play all 17 games.
Amari doesn't miss a ton of games.
I know, but it feels like he disappears.
No, I agree.
He disappears.
He does, for sure.
I'm saying it's close. It's
but with
not
Deshaun,
like
he's not going to disappear.
Especially because it's David Bell, Donovan Peoples-Jones behind him.
Deshaun's a different level.
I'm actually higher on David Njoku having a big time year than
that
Amari.
contract was insane.
Yep.